Hey guys, we are on Math Day 8, which means it is Thursday. And today we are still working with money and adding and subtracting. We did adding yesterday, so today we're going to do subtracting. And our book teaches us two ways to subtract. So we're going to go over both ways. We're going to regroup in both ways, but there's regrouping with it written this way, sideways, out like that. And there's regrouping with it stacked. So we'll get to that. Jim buys a spool of thread. He gives the cashier 70 cents. His change is. So we know that the thread is 65 cents. Okay? So he bought the thread, it was 65 cents. He gave the cashier 70 cents. So how much change will he get back? So they've written it out here for us. And one way that we can regroup is if we break the 70 down. Now, when we break it down this way, we need to break it into a 10 and then whatever's left. So 70 is 10 and what number? What number plus 10 is 70? Good job, 60. So we're going to break the 70 down to 60 and 10 because we're going to need that 10 in a minute and you'll see why. We're going to break down that 65 to 60 and 5, okay? Now we can do our math. This is subtraction. So we're going to take our first numbers from each of our, where we broke it down, 60 minus 60 equals 0, okay? Now we're going to take our second two numbers, 10 minus 5 equals 5. So his change is 5 cents, okay? That's one way. That's the first way we can regroup. Now, the second way, and this is the way that you guys have done awesome with, the second way is stacking. So if we stack it, 70 minus 65, we know that we have to stack it exactly the way it should be. We have to keep our ones in line and we have to keep our tens in line. If we don't line it up, we will not get the right answer. So we have to stack it properly. Keep all of your ones in one column, keep all of your tens in one column, and remember, you got to put your plus or your minus over here so you'll know what you're doing. We have 0, take away 5. If I have 0, can I take 5 away? No, I cannot. What do I have to do? Blow it into your hand, release it, borrow. Very good. You guys are really good at borrowing. And I know that if I have to borrow, this number will become a 10. I keep my 0 and add a 1 in front of it, okay? But I borrowed from this 7. That's where I borrowed that 1 from. Since I took 1 away from that 7, it has to become a 6. And you guys know this. We did this a lot, okay? Now looking at my problem, can I do the math? Yes, I can. 10 take away 5 is 5. 6 take away 6 is 0. So his change is 5 cents. And you guys are really good at that. So we'll stick with that. All right, let's look at our next page. Okay. We did number 1 already because that was an addition problem. Number 2 says, what two things can you buy with only 45 cents? That is really blurry. Let me try to get that a little less blurry for you. What two things can you buy with 45 cents? The plastic teapot is 45 cents, but it says what two things can you buy? So we can't buy that because that would just be one thing. The gorilla's 70. We don't have enough for that. The ball is 50. We don't have enough for that. The toy car is 65. We don't have enough for that. The toy fish are 80. We don't have enough for that. The plastic shells are 25. We could get that. The plastic flower is 20. We could get that. And the marbles are 30, we could get that. But we're going to buy 2 things and we only have 45 cents. So if we buy plastic shells, that would be 25 cents. If we buy plastic shells and marbles, 30 plus 25 is 55. We wouldn't have enough, so we can't buy the marbles. 25 plus 20 is 45. So we could buy the plastic shells and the plastic flour for 45 cents. 4 quarters are used to buy the toy fish. Where are the toy fish? Here they are. The toy fish are 80 cents. 4 quarters are used to buy the toy fish. So if we have 4 quarters, we know how to count by 25s. We've been practicing. If we have 4 quarters, we have 25, 50, 75, 100. We have $1, which is 100 cents. All right, let's put that down. Our 4 quarters is equal to 100. How much change will you get? We bought the toy fish, which were 80 cents. This looks really big and complicated. It's the same thing, okay? Now, 0 minus 0, we can do that. That's 0, okay? So now we have, forget those zeros for now. We've already used those. Forget about them. Now we have 10 minus 8. Most of you know from our fast facts that 10 minus 8 is 2. How much change will you get? 20 cents. Don't let that big complicated math problem get you. It's not that hard. All right, good job. Now you guys are ready to pull out your workbook and turn to page 232. We're on page 232 in our workbook, and it looks like this. All right. So our first one, it says subtract at the top. 55 cents minus 20 cents. I don't know why we're so blurry today. Let me try to fix that up for you. All right. That's a little better. There we go. Let's try that. 55 cents minus 20 cents. You can stack this if you would like. 5 take away 0. 5. 5 take away 2. 3. 55 minus 20 is 35 cents. Anytime you have a problem written that way, you can stack it. Now, if you would like to break it down, you can do that too. It's totally up to you. It would look like this. Okay, then you take your first 2, subtract 50 minus 20, which is 30. Then take your second 2, 5 minus 0 is 5. Now you add these two together. 30 plus 5 more is 35. Whichever way is easier for you is the way you can do it. I think our class did really well with the stacking. You're going to regroup sometimes either way. So if you're worried about regrouping, you're regrouping whether you write it long ways or stack it either way. That one we didn't have to regroup on. All right, 45 minus 15. You can write this out and stack it. 5 take away 5 is 0. 4 take away 1 is 3. There's your fast facts coming back. 45 minus 15 is 30 cents. All right, I'm going to let you do 18 and 19 all by yourself. Then on down here, we're still subtracting. Don't let them fool you, they're giving you the small number first, but they're just writing it a different way. When we subtract, we always start with our biggest number, so don't let them trick you with the way they've written this. They're saying to take 35 cents from 50 cents. So you're taking 35 away from 50, which looks like this. 50 minus 35, okay? Don't let them trick you with that wording. Right here, 25 from 70. They're just saying take 25 cents away from 70. So you have 70 and you're going to take 25 away. Okay, so out here we have a little space. What we can do is stack it up over here. Now you can't write big and giant or we won't get all of our work on here. We have to write small enough to fit everything. Now when we look at this problem, we know that if we have 0, if I have 0, I cannot take 5 away. So what am I going to do? Blow it into your hand, release it. Good job. Borrow. And when we borrow, we keep this number and we add a 1 in front of it. But we borrowed that 1 from our tens. We borrowed a 1 from our tens column, so since we borrowed 1 from this 5, we have to take it down 1, which would be 4. We borrowed 1 from the 5, we put it here, that 5 becomes a 4. All right, can we do the math now? Absolutely we can. 10 minus 5 is 5, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So 50 minus 35 is 15 cents. And you're going to do that for all of these, okay? And I think you guys can finish this out all by yourself. But come back and finish it because we're going to move on to the next page so I can show you how to do that. Then you can come back and work on these, okay? So let's slide on over to page 233 and let's look at what we're doing. All right, page 233. We have some coins. And we have some products. So, we go into the store. This is our example. We go into the store with a quarter and we buy a 5-cent stamp. They want to know how much change we get. Okay, so we have a quarter, which is worth 25. We bought a 5-cent stamp, so we're taking 5 away. 25 take away 5 is 20. Our change would be 20 cents, okay? So let's look at this one. First, let's count how much money we have. We have a quarter, which is worth 25 cents. We have a dime, and a dime. Those are each worth 10 cents. So let's count our money. Remember, when we count money, we have to skip count, okay? We start with our largest value, which is 25 cents, plus 10, 35, plus 10 more, 45, plus 10 more, 55. We have 55 cents. Okay? We buy a muffin that cost 50 cents. So we're going to take away the cost of the muffin. 55 minus 50. You can write it that way or you can stack it. Either way, okay? Either way, 5 take away 0 is 5. 5 take away 5 is 0. Our change is 5 cents. You don't have to write that 0. It's a placeholder. All right, one more, then I'm going to turn you loose, let you do this all by yourself. We have a quarter and a quarter, and we know that a quarter is worth 25 cents. So how much money did we go into the store with all together? 25 plus 25 is 50. Good job. So we have 50 cents. We buy a toy scooter for 30 cents. So we're going to take that away. 50 minus 30. Okay, if you want to stack it, you can stack it. 0 take away 0 is 0. 5 take away 3 is 2. Our change is 20 cents. Okay? You guys can do 26 and 27 all by yourself because you're big kids and you know what to do and you're super smart and I know you can do it. So go back and finish your earlier page 232. Finish those. Show me your work. And then finish up page 233 and show me your work. You do not have to write it both ways. Just write it the way that you're going to work it out. That'll be fine. So if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. I'll be glad to help you out. I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.